Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more CasterMuse Narak StarLeague. This is Group C, which is the second group to be played, and it's game number 5. This is the decider match. One of these two players will be moving on from the round of 32 to the round of 16. In the top left, we have Spire, our aggressive Zerg player. And in the bottom right, we have Motive. Maybe a more experienced player, but he did already fall to Spire here. We've definitely seen a decent amount of games between these two, particularly on ArtosisCasts, which, by the way, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm so happy to have the channel back. I'm really enjoying doing these casts, and I hope that you're enjoying them as well. I love the feedback. I've been reading all the comments and everything. Even the really dumb ones. So please go ahead and comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, all this stuff. Give it likes, smash that like button or whatever it is YouTubers say. It really does help, guys. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, I have a lot of great events ready to cast. You know, we have the CasterMuse Narak StarLeague, which is the focus right now. There's going to be some upcoming Moonlight Pro League matches that I've sponsored as well. Maybe a little bit more race survival series. All sorts of great stuff. So stay tuned. This is going to be really nonstop like it was before now that I'm settled down in Canada. So, taking a quick look at this game. Looks like we have the Gateway expansion coming out of Motive. And over on the side, it looks like a little bit of an overpool. Right? No. Pool and then Overlord, I guess. But yeah. Gonna go ahead and just get a few lings out here. 6 lings on the way. See if Spire's able to get anything done with that. Of course, as you can see, the map is Vermeer. Honestly, this might be my favorite map now, even over Polypoid. Like, Polypoid has been a fantastic map, and they're very different maps, despite the fact that they're both, I don't know, you would kind of call them generic, but they have very, very different feels to them. But yeah, excellent 4-player maps. Been enjoying Vermeer quite a bit. Really like the expansion layout here. And right now the probe, just kind of scouting a little bit. The lings don't actually know where to go yet. You can see them splitting up a little bit. And of course with the forge coming up and a zealot in the wall, no real chance for damage here, I would say. But it definitely is slowing down the Nexus quite a bit to have to get all of this. Right now, Motive trying to keep that probe alive. Going to go up and scout out this third hatchery that's already being made. Gas will be going up in the main base. We'll see if Spire gets aggressive off of this. Like, obviously, just the fact that he has these Zerglings, it is aggressive to some extent. But, you know, this is not like an all-in or something, right? Like, this is something that could have possibly caught mistakes. If a Zealot tries to come across the map, you're blocking it. Obviously, as I mentioned before, the Nexus is going to be a lot slower as well. You can see he's trying to avoid making a cannon right away. The forge was made very quickly to help with the wall-in. But yeah, basically there's not enough lings to force a break here. He will make a cannon next, but as another Zealot pops out, he'll have both holes guarded, and then the 2 Zealots easily beat these 5 lings. Of course, the 6th ling over here still chasing the probe. You gotta try to tax that Protoss player, make him lose the probe. Not likely to happen, though. Not at this level. So layer should get started here in just a moment. Oh, Zergling speed. Oh, man. He actually sees 2 more lings pop out, and he sees that there's no layer. Huh. Okay, okay. This could get really aggressive. We'll see. Now, another 100 gas comes up. We should see the layer get started, I would imagine, unless he's going to throw down a Hydralisk Den, which would be kind of insane. No, okay, the layer does get started now. A couple Zealots hitting this 3rd base location. They're going to have to hide behind the mineral patch, and, I mean, that's a great place for the Zealots to just kind of sit. Very hard to actually break them out of there, even with the amount of lings that he's made. Going in single file, never fun for the Zerglings. Now, a couple Zealots do come back home. Taking a look at the main base, Cybernetics core about halfway done as the Nexus is finishing. It's amazing, by the way, just the way that Protoss vs. Zerg has evolved. The fact that you can just sit 2 Zealots back like this, and you're like, this is so larva efficient. This is amazing. And you have all these lings sitting out here. Zergling speed is done. They can't really attack. One thing to mention is that this does look like it's turning into 3-hatch Hydra after the Speedling opener. Like, obviously you can make Hydras and hit these, but this is really causing a headache right now for Spire. You can't leave the area with the Lynx because Zealots will come out and kill drones, and you can't attack in because it's so inefficient. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be him right now. Back at home, we have the Stargate coming up. Excuse me, the Overlord coming in for a little bit of a scout as well. We'll see that Stargate and try to get out of here so it doesn't end up dying. Hydralisk speed still being made. And I want to see here, right, because we have additional links here. There are a few Hydras being made. Now, there's different ways you can do the Hydra, 3-hatch Hydra. Like, is he going to go for a full-on bust? Because the Zealots are going to kind of figure that out quickly, I think. There's a possibility he just makes a handful. Maybe he pokes these Zealots down, forces a bunch of cannons, and just rips down the wall. That is a possibility. Of course, you can just make Hydras nonstop and just try to relentlessly bust your opponent here. All right, the Hydras are out. So, yeah, that kind of forces the Zealots into action. And just knowing that the Hydras are out will allow Motive to get these cannons up in time, right? Like, that's better than a Corsair scouting them when they're here. So he is going to have enough time to get these cannons up. I feel like Motive's just in a better spot right now. Now, that's not to say that Spire doesn't have any opportunities. He is getting that range upgrade. Okay, see, he is droning. This is what I was kind of talking about before. Lair is on the way. And he is switching over into drones. So I think what we're seeing here is kind of a fake 3-hatch Hydra, where you're forcing as much static D as possible. These Hydras won't start to attack until the range upgrade's done. There might be an angle where they can barely hit the gateway without being hit. Yeah, probably not many of them. Yeah, see, this bottom one, you're not going to be able to hit that. And then you got to hold position them again so they start attacking. But when range is done, he'll be able to gun down the wall pretty quickly. You have to be careful, though. See, it's like... StarCraft 1 is a really funny game with the ranges and the angles and stuff. But he is starting to gun this down a little bit. The Zealots come out. He really wants to save the +1. That's what's going on here. If +1 gets canceled, you can't fight these Lings very well. It's really annoying. It's almost done right now, so he is really trying to save it, and in fact, he will be able to save it. But he spends several Zealots doing so. So he has +1, but took a lot of damage on his Zealots, loses a few. In the meantime, back at home, a macro hatchery coming up. Another one here, another one here. So look at this. Already going up to 6 hatch afterwards. Going to be able to gun down the forge as well as the gateway. A lot of gateways going down as well. The second forge for that +1 armor going up in the main base. Templar Archives for Motive. Oops, accidentally sends a drone. This is not for a hatchery or anything. There's not much buildable terrain here. This area is buildable. This area is not. There's no room for a hatchery up here, even though there are buildable spots here. So yeah, that drone was just a miss rally, unfortunately, there for Spire, but again, he's going to be all right. The Zealots run out as soon as they have speed and start to engage. You can see how quickly they kill off those Zerglings, and actually, I mean, not the best trade in the world. There's still 5 Hydras left over, and the Zealots are all dead, but he has a lot of gateways right now. He's about to have 6. So Motive is going to be able to get out on the map. We'll see if he can actually punish Spire some, because Spire suddenly is at 40 drones after kind of a rocky opener. He's droned up so quickly. This is always the thing I'm impressed with Zergs in Zerg vs. Protoss, where they'll do something that's pretty aggressive, like this Hydra bust. Of course, again, it was like kind of a fake, but he made a lot of units and got a lot of upgrades before really droning. And then suddenly he's on 6 hatch with 40 drones. There's lurker upgrade on the way, ranged attack upgrades as well. Definitely going to have to turtle a bit. Right now, Motive going up to those 8 gates, getting Psystorm. Certainly he'll be getting Dragoon range after some High Templars start popping out. Needs to build that count up a little bit. Of course, these Hydras have to be pulled back into a better SimCity area. You have to be careful. The Zealots can fight them when they're in similar numbers. Of course, as that Hydralisk group continues to grow, they become so microable against the Zealots. Really great kiting can occur, and you can just start to bleed off Zealots, which, you know, we see that happen a lot. It's happening less as players get better right now, but when you do see that happen, it's like, it feels like Protoss doesn't have much of a shot, right? When their Zealots just kind of evaporate, and then suddenly they just don't ever have the critical mass to break through the bigger Hydralisk lurker army that you see later on. But right now, 3 High Templars already sitting out here. 1 in the main base. This is waiting just in case of mutas. And Dragoon range is coming as well as the Robo in the natural. So you can see Motive is really getting himself ready for a big macro pump coming out on his 51 probes. Lurkers are morphing back at home right now for Spire. So he's going to get into Hydra Lurker and very likely a Contain. This is the most kind of standard thing. It's kind of interesting. I saw a lot of people kind of talking about it because you don't necessarily see the non-Korean pros play in this way, but like it's a very decisive play that Koreans almost always go for at the top level, where if you go for Lurkers, they're going to be in your face, they're going to be trying to contain, and they're going to force the fight at the Protoss base as opposed to spreading out. Like occasionally you'll see the spread out defensive Lurker Hydra, but it's really not as common, especially from a player like Spire here. So a good spread, you want to have them one Psy Storm apart from each other, so no Psy Storms will connect with two. I believe these two technically can be hit by the same Psy Storm. I think that's it, though. Everything else looks really well spaced. A few Zealots coming up, but as the Lurker Spines shoot out, of course, they do have to turn around. Some good Lurker defense at every base. A couple Lurkers going up here as well. Drones being transferred way ahead of time. Not sure that he needs them that quickly. And here we go. The first Observer out. It looks like we're going to see... oh, that was a nice storm, but he actually pulled away so quickly after sniping that Observer. Very crisp play there from Spire. Look at that. 11 Hydras as a little sniping squad for these Observers. Always a problem for Protoss. The Observer is so soft. And their only detection, well, they have spells that can detect technically, like Maelstrom and stuff, but really it's the Observer in the cannon. So you have to manage keeping that Observer alive. Sometimes we see Observer speed, sometimes we see Observer sight range upgraded, but that's hard off 2 gas. So he waits for the second Observer, going to try to punish any snipes with some strong Psy Storms. But you can see, look at this, runs up, tries to get it, doesn't quite get that, loses a Hydra, takes a bit of damage. All right, starting to walk out here once again. Psy Storm goes down. Ooh, tries to get this Observer. It stays alive. Motive with a very strong push out so far. Some very high quality Psy Storms go down. Some of the Lurkers are damaged quite a bit. Don't forget, this is now a 4-base economy. We do have a group of Zealots out here. This will probably become a flanking group, or he can try to hit the 4th. Because Lurkers are out, I think it's going to become a flanking group, and I think that's going to be the right play here. If he can just bust this containment, there's going to be a huge map control for Motive. And here we go. The flank comes in with those Zealots, throwing Psy Storms down absolutely everywhere. Only a couple Lurkers left over. The Dragoon's going to make quick work of those. And you can see suddenly Motive taking control of his own choke once again. He's going to want to instantly throw down a 3rd Nexus. We see more Dragoons coming out. Here comes that probe as well to expand. And you know what? I like the position right now for Motive. I think he did a fantastic job breaking out of there. The flank was well timed. He didn't lose too much. And Spire was really trying for it. He was really trying to just snipe Observers, not let him out through that Lurker containment. But now he's got to go on the defensive. Back at his base, we see that +2 ranged attack is on the way. It's Lurker Hydra being macroed, which is the Zerg mid-game. No Hive or anything like that as of yet. Some of these bases look like they are killable. But I think what we're going to see from Spire is a more mobile army, right? Like, he's still trying to have some map control here. We might see counterattacks. We might see him try to run in and, like, snipe this 3rd base or something if an attack comes up. Notice there is a probe here, so Motive shows that he actually wants this base. That's a huge piece of intel that we see from Spire, right? Like having that Hydra and that Overlord snipe that off. He knows, like, okay, you want to take a 4th. I see. So what do we do? Do we go for a gigantic attack coming in? If he tries that, there's a lot of Psy Storm and a lot of Dragoons here to try to punish. Kadarian Amulet on the way as well as +2 attack. It's got that +2 armor already. Some great upgrades for Protoss here. Up to 10 gates. Really, really nice macro going on. By the way, 61 drones to 50 probes. That's kind of insane. Now, when you look at the supplies, this looks like advantage Zerg, but again, no Hive or anything, right? So as the Dragoon and High Templar counts grow, I feel like Motive still has a decent shot here. His army quality is certainly much higher, but he's got to be careful with how he uses it. trying to attack up into high ground lurkers can be very detrimental. Look at this, a big flank of lurkers coming down as he tries to break. Oh, a couple big snipes on those observers. No observers left in this army. As the lurkers come in with a flank, he does throw down some storms, some really great storms. He's actually eliminating, well, not that one, but the other one doing a great job eliminating a couple of them. Another observer is out here. Oh man, picking off some of these High Templars. Another nice storm onto the Hydras. Traps a few of these Hydras against the wall there, so a little bit of missed micro coming in from Spire. Still a very high quality army from Protoss. He has lost some size storms, right? Like he's got 2 here and soon to have 2 more coming out here. So 4 soon enough, but there is a new and bigger lurker contain coming up, pushing into Motive. Can Motive actually break out of here and gain some sort of map control? Spire has done a good job timing this to come back down. Oh man, he is pushing back. We heard another observer death in there as well. That's a beautiful size storm. My god, a lot of Hydras starting to fall here. Yes, be careful not to engage too much away from the lurkers. Of course, the Dragoons can do such an excellent job once you hit a critical mass of them, but it feels like he's not quite there yet. Now, the lurkers come in for a bit of a flank once again. The observer moves to the north. Ooh, these Dragoons taking a lot of damage over to the sides. The Zealots trying to spread themselves a little bit. Just absolute action non-stop here right now. Another great size storm goes down, but the supplies are getting very close to even. And when that continues to happen, even after some big macro pushes from Protoss, it does not look good for the Protoss player. I think Spire is starting to take a real advantage here. He's still got the 4 bases. He's on 7 hatcheries macroing right now. Again, no additional economy. He is getting an additional upgrade with that +1 carapace, which will be helpful. But no other tech. It's just Hydra Lurker for now. Can we hit the right army for Motive to break out? There's so many Hydras coming in at this point. Another Size Storm goes down. An okay one. Shreds a few Hydras, puts damage on a few more. And that was an excellent Size Storm right there. Really softens up the Hydra clumps. But no more High Templars. That's a big issue. Attacking in with just Dragoons is not going to work. Some Zealots coming out. An Archon that just morphed out of those last 2 High Templars as well to tank a bit more of this damage. He's got a great arc of Dragoons here trying to pop through everything. Does he have enough to actually do so? Look at this great micro coming out of Spire. He moves back, brings everything into lurker range, then goes back to fight again. And even though the Dragoons are just barely pushing this all back, more units are going to be coming out of Spire. And with less Size Storm, the Hydras are going to scale even better than before. We need those High Templars to continue to come out. There is going to be a 4th gas relatively soon here. Motive gets this Nexus down. Out of minerals. He definitely needs this base up and running, so he has to hold that right now. Can he actually break through here? This is not that many Hydras. It's not that many lurkers. There's going to be more very shortly. Oh my god, he's just diving on the observers. Doesn't get that one. Plus another one is ready. This is absolutely insane. This is like the most action at PvZ I have ever seen. Look at this Motive rotating towards the north. He needs to make sure he holds on to this area. If Spire were to kill that base, the game will end. Another Size Storm goes down onto these Hydras. Ooh, another one there as well. Very small containing force remains. The supply stays pretty even. Oh, a great move that 3 Zealots. I didn't even notice this was happening. There was so much going on, but killing off this hatchery that Spire tries to take in the top right, incredibly important. There is another one being taken over at 9 o'clock. Not quite halfway done, so not the end of the world right now for Motive. Motive keeping his money incredibly low. Both of them at 120 supply. Actually, a supply cap here for Spire as he continues to try to push more lurkers over. This is a huge amount of lurkers, by the way. Picks off another observer, gets another High Templar as well. Definitely a worthwhile snipe there. Loses that Overlord and does get supply blocked momentarily. Looks like he is trying to chase out some of these Zealots as well. 2-2 upgrades against 2-1. I think that's where the game is going to stop upgrade-wise, because it does feel like this one is likely to be decided relatively soon here. Either Motive is going to kill everything in this area, get a huge macro round off, and go punish that 5th base, or he's going to be suffocated. One way or the other, we're going to figure this out pretty soon. Great micro from Spire once again. He keeps coming in with these Hydras, taking as few hits as possible and picking off what he can. But he is losing a lot of the Hydras. Ooh, a nice dodge there in the back. Motive pushes out through the north, but does he want to leave the area? If he leaves this area, the Lurkers might actually get more powerful. He actually comes back down towards those Lurkers once again. Not that many Hydras for support at the moment. More coming in. More Overlords coming down to spot these outcoming observers. He really does want to continue to pick those off, as Lurkers are the backbone of this containment. All right, he runs in on top of everything. 4 observers coming in, so those are not going to be pickable right now. Another nice Psystorm down here to the south. Another one on double Lurker. Gets them all very low. Still has a lot of detection, but maybe not enough gateway units. His supply continues to fall here. The Hydras getting picked off. But another reinforcement wave comes out from Motive. Doesn't quite have enough, he thinks. Gonna pick off some of these Overlords. This is actually some great picking off going on right now. A lot of Overlords do end up falling in at supply blocks. Spire once again. But Spire does have a 6th base up, 7th on the way. So right now, Motive needs to make something happen. He cannot be playing against this big of an economy. It's just not going to last for him on 2 bases. So he needs to get something done. He decides to come back down, maybe clear this contain once and for all. And a couple Lurkers do burrow. The Archon ends up popping here. Psystorm pushing those Hydras back. A lot of Dragoons. Oh, but look at this. Reinforcement Lurkers just never stop. It is endless here from Hydra. But suddenly you do see Motive peak up in supply. Don't forget, he's down 10 workers, but right now he's up 30 supply. So that means 40 army supply advantage right now. Few Zealots try to run into this 4th base. Looks like some Hydras were luckily hatching right there, so they will be able to defend that. A group of Dragoons goes out to the side, and he flanks these Lurkers. Always a great move against Lurkers to hit a flank on them. Great Psystorms go down here as well. Motive finally takes over his part of the map. Is he going to be able to continue this push, though? I really think he needs to go kill a base right now if he's going to have a real chance in this game. But I think it's likely that he can. Oh, my God. Look at this. The Hydra's all running away. The Lurkers as well. You know, now that he doesn't have a spread, he spreads these out to try to defend this base. But Motive doesn't have to go that way. He starts pushing towards the left a little bit. Is he gonna... I don't know if he actually knows about this base. If he did, 100% he would attack, right? All right, he sees drones rallying down there, so he knows that something's up, something is mining. But, oh my God, is he just going to go for a kill? I thought he was for a moment, but that would end up in a big flank. Now he comes up. Oh, the Psystorm flank on the Hydras! They get pushed back quite a bit. They come down for another pickoff. 2 High Templars go down that have storms. More storms go down, and the Hydras will try to dance away. Look at this. 3 Zealots end up hitting this. What is this? Base number 7. A very good pickoff. That will not be saved, I don't think. And a big push into the natural. It looks like Motive is trying to get a victory right here, right now. Does he have enough? He might. Spire has very few units left over. Look at this. GG. My God. What a game from Motive. He advances to the next round.